There's some of my laptops like doing weird stuff. I can't even do anything.
I'm on the YouTube, so I'll tell you if it goes live.
Sound. We're back here on the official catch-up. It's the South Challenge Cup draw edition, and we're here with Moza and Chris. We've had a few technical issues, so if this is not working, we'll soon find out, I'm sure. If it is, then great, but if not, then we're going to have to go back to the drawing board and try and figure out how we do this, because it's not working.
No, we're live. We're live.
We are live. We have confirmation that we are live now, so apologies for the delay. We're just going to get kicked off the draw just fairly soon. We'll just wait for our draw master to appear. Whether we, let's say, technical problems, which these other things happen. If it happens to you, if it can happen here in the official catch-up. So let's just laugh about it and move on. But firstly, Moz, how you doing?
Pretty good. All things considered. Can't complain. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Happy after Saturday's victory at Buffs Park, but we'll move on about that because it's a Scottish South Challenge Cup day rather than a league day. But Chris, how you doing?
Yeah, decent. Looking forward to the cup draw, obviously. Hopefully, I have a few exciting ties in this one.
Absolutely.
I have been specifically asked to warm up Canberra's Langsball, so
they've got to beat Darvel first to get in.
This is true.
You've got to think about that. You were having slight technical issues, so we're going to try and pad it out a little bit till we get them working. Moza and Chris can talk for Scotland, so we'll be fine. No danger in that. We have the draw feed. I've just got confirmation we're back in. I'm
beautiful.
Just going to confirm. Hi, Kenny. We've got you there, mate. Cheers.
Okay.
We're going to do the draw for the South Challenge Cup, which will have just in about probably 5-10 minutes time. Make sure people can get on and see the YouTube and make sure it's all working honky dory. South Challenge Cup is it's in the fourth round, and there'll be 32 teams left to play in the South Challenge Cup. We have 8 Lowland League teams. We've got 9 West of Scotland Premier League teams, 7 West of Scotland Conference teams, 5 East of Scotland Premier teams, and 2 East of Scotland Conference teams. Let's look at the numbers for the draw. That's the all-important one. We'll come to you, Moza. Any particular game that maybe you would like to see drawn out out the
yeah. I want to see Linlithgow get Auchinleck Talbot. I'll call it now, right? Because Linlithgow's, we mentioned it earlier on. We were just chatting. 15 on the spin. I think they've won, and they're in great form. And obviously Talbot probably would be the kind of most fancied team at the West. So I'd love to see the two of them old adversaries go head to head.
That's a good old-fashioned cup tie, isn't it?
Like proper
junior cup tie, like Linlithgow versus Talbot, for sure. But yeah, I mean, Chris, would you yourself anything particular that stands out you'd want to see?
Moza mentioned Linlithgow. I would like to maybe see them play Bonnyrigg Rose. Old East Juniors rivalry there, but Bonnyrigg versus Auchinleck Talbot is something we've talked about behind the scenes as well. So all the top teams you could, like you were saying, mentioning obviously Linlithgow, Bonnyrigg, but you've got Pollock in there that are leading the West of Scotland League. They end up against a Lowland League side or an East of Scotland side would be fantastic as well.
It's for me. I think you're right. Pollock could be one of the interesting. Of course, got to give a shout to Troon. I'm a big fan of Troon in this podcast. So if we're still in the draw, we Troon versus perhaps maybe a Bowness or a Bowness, because there's 2 Bowness tied teams.
Bowness Derby.
Bowness Derby is a possibility. Or Cumbernauld Derby. You've got that as well. Cumbernauld Colts or Cumbernauld United. One's a Lowland League team and one's a West Scotland Prem team. Yeah, there's been some good teams in there. I think obviously I mentioned the conference teams in the East, Soke and Sagenta. I quite like Soke. I keep a follow what they're up to. So it'd be good to get them a big draw, maybe even like a Pollock or a Talbot, and it'd be a good away day for those kind of guys. But we'll crack on with the draw because I know we've had a few technical issues already this evening. So we'll get the draw going. We've got the numbers on the screen, so look out for the all important numbers. For your team, if you're in the draw. I was saying before we had our technical issues, none of us in this panel have a horse in the race because we've already been papped out of the cup, which is quite sad. But we won't talk about how Cullen Rangers got put out of the cup, but we're still better about that. So anyway, we're going to bring in Kenny. from the East of Scotland who's going to make the draw. And let's just see. I'm being informed there's no numbers on the screen at present, but I'll try that and see if that makes a difference. Let's bring in the fishbowl draw that we're going to do right here. And we'll just try to do two things at once here, boys.
Fair play to Kenny, patiently waiting there.
There he is. We're in. Kenny, thanks for joining us. We'll get the draw going. So we'll say we've got 32 teams, will be 16 ties. Moz is going to call out the home teams, and Chris, aka Rampant, is going to call out the away teams. Say 16 ties. The ties will be played on the weekend of the 5th of February, and we'll just start with the first ball and number, please.
This being in front of a radiator doesn't help the joke about warm balls, does it? That is number 25, Socky.
There you go. Number 25, Socky.
And they will be playing Troon, as you
there
just
we go.
mentioned, Ben.
Well, they're like two of my favourite teams, so that's definitely going to be a good tie. I might make if that had been a home game, I'd have made an effort to go to that one, but.
26 is Spartans.
Spartans off of the Lowland League.
And travelling to Ainsley Park will be Syngenta of East of Scotland Conference X.
Conference X. I like it.
Number 31, University of Stirling.
And they'll be hosting number 17, Hurlford of the West of Scotland Premier.
Number 3, Beath.
West of Scotland.
Yeah, home
Premier
tie.
side, home tie, yeah.
And Beef will play number 6, Bowness United.
That rules out the Bowness derby, unfortunately.
Aye, that's
That's
what I
a
was
good
just
tie, that,
thinking.
though.
It's a good tie. Again, another one of these kind of old-fashioned kind of junior cup kind of matches.
Number 20 is Linlithgow Rose, home tie.
Home tie for Linlithgow Rose.
This is an interesting one that we're all waiting on.
Yeah.
Who they'll play.
Number 2.
Close. Crossbar.
Oof. And they'll be playing Blantyre Victoria of the West of Scotland.
Number 9, Civil Service Strollers.
And Civil Service Strollers will be hosting number 19, Genefield Swifts. They wonder if they'll be wearing their Illuminous away kits or that one.
2 of them might be neon.
Nice.
24 is Renfrew.
West Scotland Conference side. They're one of the 3 conferences there.
And Renfrew will be hosting Bowness Athletic, another one of the 2 Conference X sides of the East of Scotland.
It's all cross-region so far, isn't it? It's good.
Good start, yeah.
Old-fashioned cup draws, that's it.
Number 12 is Cumbernauld United.
You want the calls here.
Number 11, don't we? That's, we're looking for number 11 here.
And they're playing number 22, Peters Hill, of
Easy.
the West of Scotland Conference.
Easy, yeah.
Number 1 is Arthurlie.
Another West of Scotland Conference side.
The only undefeated league side in the competition.
Great stat. That's why Chris is here, for the stats.
And they're
There we go.
playing number 7, Bonnyrigg Rose. I thought that was number 1 again. I was correcting myself.
A nice away day for Bonnyrigg Rose.
Number 8 is Caledonian Braves.
Of the local
I'd be
league.
thankful for a home tie after the last away game at Kilburn. And the Braves will be playing number 14, which is Drumchapel United.
That's a good tie.
West
I like that tie.
Scotland Conference side. Yeah, it's decent.
$32 is Vale of Leven.
Not the Lowland League side, before anyone asks.
No, not Leithen. Leven.
And Vale of Leven will be hosting number 28, which is Forneywood United.
All West of Scotland, Brian.
All West of Scotland, yeah.
Number 10 is Clydebank, home tie for the Bankies.
And the Bankies will be hosting number 23, which is Pollock, an all West of Scotland Premier Division cup game there.
First part versus third as it stands.
Number 21 is Mabel.
Another West of Scotland Conference team. Nice trip to Sunny Ayrshire for Sunday coming up, yeah.
And making that trip is number 13, which is Darvel or Cambuslang Rangers. Obviously, that game's to be played, I think, in January from the third round. So,
Not so sure we can call it Sunny Ayrshire in December, by the way.
Well, there is that. It was foggy-ish at the weekend.
Number 15 is Dundonald Bluebell.
Great name.
The only Fife team left in the competition, so we want them to do well. Well, I do.
I was going to say one is
home tie, and they will be playing number 29, which is Trinent Juniors, an all East of Scotland Premier Cup tie. These are the ones that we wanted to avoid, really.
Number 18 is Irvin Meda.
Home tie for...
Because I'll get a row if I call them Meda.
We're an official business here, Maz. It would technically be excellent.
And the Meda will be playing number 2, Auchinleck Talbot.
Must be sitting beside each other.
Another West of Scotland Premier Division Cup game.
Played each other in the first round of the Senior Scottish Cup as well, so they must be absolutely sick of each other.
Number 11 is Cumbernauld Colts getting the last home tie.
Oops.
And they're playing number 16, East Kilbride, another all-Lowland League tie. We started off so well, guys. We started off so well, and then all the league ties came in. So
that
I think that's a good draw.
Got to the official pit partner.
That
concludes the draw for the South Challenge Cup fourth round. The match will be played on the 5th of February. Thanks to Kenny from East Scotland, who's done the draw there with the fishbowl and the
thumbs up for the fish.
The goggles through the fishbowl gave the thumbs up. Thanks so much. We're going to do a bit of chat now just about the draw, and feel free to stick around, and we'll kind of gloss over some of the games we've done so far, and we'll just make sure I do the right thing here. So, gents, obviously, first the draw's been made. Anything particular that stands out so far?
I like to look at that Bonus tie, but there's a few that are kind of more old school Junior Cup almost ties, aren't they? The kind of cross region ones. I think the Bonus one kind of. I also kind of like Spartan Syngenta as well, because I think Syngenta will fancy themselves to go and do something there at Ainsley Park. So there's a few potential shocks, but how about you, Chris?
Yeah, actually, it's funny because I was going to say Syngenta. Obviously, Xander Diamond recently stepped down. They're doing really well in Conference X. I think they've only lost one this season. So they've got a team there. Recently, Greg Stewart moved from East Kilbride, so I expect them to be climbing up from Conference X into, I'm not actually sure what the structure will be in the East of Scotland next season, but you expect them to climb, and it'll be a really good test. Obviously, we know Andy Rogers as well at Syngenta, and he obviously can be a bit of a threat still to the teams higher up.
But yeah, thread to the Twitter timeline as well as Andy.
No comment on that. I mean, he's maybe listening for Andy. So, what it says on Twitter, non-controversial, quiet type guy or something.
Smiley face.
Yeah.
Who did anyone? I'm looking through my notes. Did anyone get who was the Spartans draw?
Spartans Syngenta.
Syngenta.
Spartans at home.
Spartans at home. Number 27. That was you.
Yeah.
Cool. Magic. I'm just.
Yeah, I might need a reminder of some of these when I'm
I
don't know about you, boys.
I'm just getting there. Don't worry, boys. Don't worry.
We will have a full list momentarily, folks. This is UEFA style planning right here.
So apart from like a wee bit of technical issues in the beginning and whatnot, it's our first time trying like a cup draw like this. So hopefully people enjoyed it. It gives a behind the scenes of how these cup draws are done. Nothing completely fancy, but hopefully that will change in the future. We can maybe do live streams and whatnot. It's something we've thought about, or certainly yourself, Ben. But obviously everyone knows what's going on with the coronavirus, and so we've not been able to do them exactly how we planned or how we wanted, but certainly something to think about in the future.
Yeah, I think myself, I've been involved in a couple of draws now for the West of Scotland. It's been quite good. I think it creates a bit of a buzz. Obviously, we do a podcast every week and we talk good points and bad points about Scottish football, but this is a purely positive thing. It's an exciting time. Cup draws are always an exciting time. Doesn't matter what cup you're in.
More exciting when your teams are in it.
Well, that's true. That is true. Yeah, Moza, I'm conscious. I've got the Corn Rangers top behind me, and Moza's got the Broomhill hat on, but we're both basically
posted missing.
Aye, it's one of those. But I don't.
There's only 1 5-team left, so that doesn't count for Chris.
Exactly. So
we'll be claiming Genefield next.
If in doubt, claim Genefield, innit? That's the. Just going back to some of the different ties. I think obviously we were talking about Bonnie Reg Rose earlier on, an away trip to Arthurlie in the east of Scotland. Should be a
West
Scotland, of course. Arthur. Yeah, I'm trying to read too many things at once.
Am I right in saying, Chris, that you said they're undefeated? No.
Yep, them and Haddington Athletic, although Haddington are obviously not in the competition. But for our sort of side of the pyramid, I think them and Haddington are the only undefeated league teams. So interesting. Unfortunately, I don't really know much about Arthurlie, but all I know is that they're undefeated. So
they're in the conference. They play out of Barhead. So I could. A good side, yeah, certainly. As you say, they've been doing quite well at the moment. I think, obviously, with the way the league structure is in the conferences, you're expecting that obviously the winners are going to go up to the Prem, and obviously the 7 teams getting relegated from the Prem as it stands. So there's a chance for Athlete there to get themselves right in amongst the Premier division.
A couple of people have mentioned it in the chat. I can confirm there was no shenanigans. I've had a suggestion we need to see the guy doing the draw's head, so he's not looking at the numbers. I can confirm no shenanigans were afoot for anyone that's putting doubts.
I think even if we're looking at the third round as well, I mean, Cambuslang Rangers, their top West of Scotland Conference B, so they're not going to be pushovers for Darvel. And
No, not at all.
you know what cup teams, cup games are like. If you turn up on the day, one team that we've always mentioned about doing well in the cup is obviously Socky Juniors, who I think we've all sort of grown a wee bit fond of. They had the run in the Scottish Cup. They were unlucky not to get the replay. I would fancy them up against anyone.
And then Darvel,
potential sleeper.
They've got the league to look at. They've now got the Scottish Cup to keep looking at as well. Might even play a weekend team. You'll just need to wait and see.
I think you're right. Yeah, Darvel, obviously, I think they're sitting 5th in the table just now, but got so many games in hand that they could potentially, I think, get about a point, maybe 2 points behind Pollock if they win their games in hand. So, obviously, Cowan were playing Darvel at the weekend and got a 1-0 win. So, it just shows you that
team had to drop it in.
Got to get in. This will be the only episode we do before Christmas. I've got to mention it at least once, maybe twice. But I think in that West of Scotland Prem division, teams will take points off everyone. So Darvel's focus, I think, will be the league title, because I think if you listen to Mick after the interview, after the game and against Beacon, he kind of was more focused on the league. And the Scottish Cup's great and stuff like that, but doesn't mean anything if he doesn't win the league. So obviously their focus is to win the league. So maybe this could be the cup competition that kind of maybe falls apart for them. But never know, they've got a good squad, they've got depth. But we're just going to show you now the draw has been obviously been made, so we'll get it up.
Just to balance that, Talbot. I heard the penalty was soft at the weekend, so.
So the linesman gave the penalty, man. I didn't see the handball. I was on the camera at the time. And,
he's gone Phil Arsene Wenger on it.
The linesman, I mean, I was shocked, to be fair, because I hadn't seen the handball in the game. And the linesman, he pulled it back and told the ref and the handball. So very fortunate right enough that Ricky missed the penalty and was managed to get the rebound, because it was a good save by big Andy Leishman in the Talbot goal. But 1-0's a 1-0, and I'm going to take it all day long. But yeah, here's a draw coming up right now. Must have a wee bit there, but that's all right. Trying to rush to ignore some of the bits here. I've just tried to rush trying to do this, but there we go. I think we mentioned Cali Braves versus Drumchapel going to be a bit interesting tie. Drumchapel, obviously, a kind of newer team to the West of Scotland, but Cali Braves at the bottom of the Lowland League. But it'll be an interesting one.
Seen it back again. I think a cracking tie between Civil Service Rollers and Genefield. I know we mentioned the Luminous kits. I do actually quite like them. I was speaking to Scott Cummins. He's like, "Do you have an issue with our kits?" I'm like, "No, they're just Luminous." They remind me like I think the Barcelona kit like a few seasons ago, like the sort of yellow and the
neon yellow.
Remind me of that. Yeah. But that looks good. University of Stirling versus Hurlford United could be potentially a decent one as well.
You mentioned Beath Boness. There's a few cracking ties in there. I actually think Bonnyrigg will get a game going away to Arthur as well, so that's one to keep an eye on. You just never know.
Yeah, I mean that's that. I mean, obviously you got to travel from the east to the west. It'll be a good game. And I say Arthur are going well. We mentioned that just previously, but they're going well, so there's nothing to say that they won't. Obviously Bonnyrigg are going for the league title in the Lowland League. Excuse me, cough.
There's another interesting tie there. We're trying not to focus on the sort of league sides that are playing each other, but obviously Cumbernauld Colts have a really good record against East Kilbride, spoiling the party. So, but East Kilbride, obviously they've been on fantastic form, as we know. Cumbernauld Colts probably not had the best of the seasons, but there's probably a wee bit of a narrative there with Sean Winter, especially a home game for Colts. So. That could be an interesting one, and maybe they stop the steam of EK there.
I mean, EK were really good for what I could see of them at the weekend. Couldn't see too much of them in the fog, but cracking side. They're playing probably the best, most informed team in the Lowland, I'd argue, just now. Smashing teams left, right, centre. So be interesting to see if Sean and Cumbernauld can do something.
Talking about EK, just on Jamie Finlay watch, was he playing on Saturday?
He came on as a sub.
Okay. I like to keep tabs.
But then he went over the far side, so I couldn't see him in the fog.
I lost in the fog, actually. I should do. I like to keep up with what Jamie Finlay's up to. I must admit, he's a good player. So let's look elsewhere then. Obviously, you've got some kind of Lowland versus West and Lowland versus East. University of Stirling versus Hurlford. We all love Chris Geddes and his hats here, but I do anyway. But what do you make of that tie, boys?
Hurlford, I think if I could remember correctly, they got after extra time. They put out Blackburn United. They were at home, so I think they've made a few changes since sort of late November in the last month. So it's tough to judge them on the last game. I think they've had a few guys in and out, so it's always difficult, in non-league in terms of transfers. You can pretty much move when you want, so it's a different look for a lot of these teams after even just a month of football, and it'll probably be even different by the time the 5th of February comes round. So we could be talking about teams now, and there probably won't be the same players unless you're maybe like a Talbot or a Pollock that tend to keep their group together.
I mean, what might go in their favour is it's a pitch in the middle of winter, so Uni won't be able to play the normal game they play. They like to get the ball down past it, but in a heavy pitch that potentially has been waterlogged over the winter, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I think we'll gloss over my predictions from the start of the season about Hurlford, shall we say. Let's just less of that the better. Yeah, good side Hurlford have surprised me, obviously, when I had them tipped to go down this year in the 7-team relegation battle in the West, but they've built a good side again. Certainly a lot more youthful, I think, than previous years. I think they used to have a bit more experience, but a good side and they're doing well. There's no reason why they couldn't beat University of Stirling. We know, obviously, Uni are a good side as well from all the coverage of the Lowland League, but I think Hurlford have got a chance. Just looking through the other ties, I think we've got one there that we probably want to talk about is that Clydebank versus Pollock. I know West of Scotland top of the table clash, if you like. Obviously, both teams are playing really well. Clydebank doing great stuff in the Senior Scottish Cup as well. So I think that's going to be you'd probably call that tie of the round. It's probably not one of the as in exciting ones and the kind of glamorous ties, but in terms of two sides who are playing great football and doing really well, I think it's one to watch for sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
I agree 100%. I mean, as I said previously, I mean, when you're looking at a cup competition, you really want teams that are not you don't play very often or you've never played competitively. So it's going to be a bit of a nippy one for Clydebank and Pollock playing each other. I'm sure they would have preferred a bit of an easier tie, but it's still a cracker for a spectator. If you're going along to a game, that would be certainly up there in terms of the fixtures on the screen at the moment.
And the other one, I think, obviously on that same note, is Invermeadow versus Auchinleck Talbot. As I said during the draw, it must be absolutely sick of each other. They'll play each other twice in the league. They drew each other in the Senior Scottish, and they're now here in the South Challenge Cup 4th round.
Probably more Meda being sick of playing Auchinleck, to be honest. But hey, you never know.
No,
I reckon they've been warming the balls for them too. I think they're always playing each other, but it's another game that both teams will probably go out and fancy. They'll probably, as you said, we sick of playing each other, but they know each other. They'll go out, especially Meda at home. They'll be wanting to get the win there.
Definitely. I'm trying to think. There's probably not much more to chat about. Is there any particular game, boys, you think you maybe attend? I'm thinking maybe making an effort to try and go to one of these games, maybe go and see a different side, because there's a few, obviously, that Athley, Bonnyrigg, Rose games are a standout for me, and I think I might make the effort to go along to that one if I've I don't know who we're playing on that Saturday right enough, but I could have duties elsewhere, but if not, anything particular you'd fancy going to?
If I'm not busy that Saturday, Socky Troon probably would be the one I'd head to, I think. Right down the road for me, and it's a decent tie between two teams that obviously don't normally play each other.
Yeah, I agree with it. Socky Troon, probably Spartan Syngenta, just to see what Syngenta are like, because the two East of Scotland Conference X sides, them and Boness Athletic, I think are doing pretty well, and obviously finding their level, just coming into the East of Scotland. So it'll be interesting to see the sort of the difference in class there, because as I mentioned, Syngenta have proven players. So it's going to be tricky, but Spartans at home, you would expect them to win that. But the only other one I think that's kind of sort of I'm looking at is probably Civil Service Rollers versus Genefield. I know Genefield are really good side, really doing well in the east of Scotland. Civil Service Rollers probably above expectation in the Lone League this season in terms of what they're doing. But yeah, two capable sides. That's probably going to be hopefully a thriller as well. Hopefully another sort of 3-3, 4-3. I don't know. I mean, there are some decent ties. I think I'm probably a wee bit disappointed in the Linlithgow Rose. Nothing. No offence to sort of Blantyre Victorias, but we were probably hoping that they would maybe get like a previous East Junior side or even the likes of maybe Spartans or something like that. But yeah, it's still an interesting tie. Well, Linlithgow Rose obviously doing so well recently under Gordon Moffat. So yeah. Cali Braves again. We mentioned them. Cali Braves at home against Drumchapel United's another standout.
Talking about Cali Braves, just been running slightly. I'm thinking I'm going to see Cali Braves versus Broomhill. Is it 1st of January, was it? Is that
New Year's Day?
If I'm not busy on New Year's Day, that may be an option. But talking about what I'll be doing on the 5th of February, I've just been reliably informed by the club secretary of Coen Rangers, aka my wife, that we're home to Rutherglen on that day. So I will be doing my duties at the football club. So just got to run through the draw just before we go. It's Socky versus Troon, Spartans versus Syngenta, University of Stirling versus Hurlford, Beath versus Bowness United, Linlithgow Rose versus Blantyre Victoria, Civil Service Strollers versus Genefield Swifts, Renfrew versus Bowness Athletic, Cumbernauld United versus Petershill, Athley versus Bonnyrigg Rose, Cali Braves versus Drumchapel United, Vale of Leven versus Thorneywood United, Clydebank versus Pollock, Maybole versus Darvel or Cambuslang Rangers, Dundonald Bluebell or Trinent versus Trinent, Evermeadow versus Auchinleck Talbot, and Cumbernauld Colts versus East Kilbride. Those ties will be played on the 5th of February. That's pretty much it from us here on the official catch-up. I hope you've enjoyed this kind of live stream show of the South Challenge Cup 4th round. I'll hopefully be back, and maybe perhaps we'll do this in a kind of more live environment. Maybe if we can all meet up in the future. Obviously, COVID and stuff like that, so kind of seems like it's kicking off again. So who knows where we'll be in probably middle of February. But that's pretty much it from us. I'll let you all tell everyone where to find you on socials, etc. Moza, where do they find you?
At Moza Plays, usual. On to Chris.
At Rampant FM and the official catch-up's at official catch-up. Over to Ben.
I'm on the Twitter is at Mr. Ben Grant. I've got quite a long list of Western Scotland teams that will probably come at me at some point. So you know who you are if you do that. So thanks for everyone for watching. Drop some feedback in the comments or on Twitter. Let us know how it was, and if you'd like to see some of this again. But remains for us to say, just have a good Christmas and Happy New Year when it comes. Cheers.
Catch you later.